Tesla's Cybertruck entered the market with enormous expectations designed to be unlike anything else on the road. It promised innovation, durability, and cutting-edge tech, but not long after the first units rolled out, the story took a sharp turn. Instead of headlines about performance or customer satisfaction, the focus shifted to something far more concerning: a safety recall affecting every single delivered Cybertruck. At the center of the issue was something surprisingly basic: the accelerator pedal. For a company known for its high-tech vehicles and futuristic design choices, it wasn't a complex software glitch or a battery failure. It was a physical problem, and a critical one at that. Reports began surfacing online, with several early owners describing incidents where the accelerator pedal would stick after being pressed hard. In some cases, it didn't return to its normal position right away, which meant the vehicle kept accelerating unexpectedly. These incidents weren't limited to one-off complaints either. Social media, online forums, and automotive news outlets quickly picked up the story. A few drivers said they had to forcefully brake or even power down the vehicle entirely to regain control. One driver was quoted describing the experience as the truck driving itself, suggesting how unpredictable and unsettling the issue felt from behind the wheel. Shortly after the reports gained traction, Tesla confirmed the problem. The company issued a recall notice through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, stating that the cover of the accelerator pedal could come loose and become trapped in the interior trim. This meant that when the pedal was pushed down firmly, especially during hard acceleration, the cover could shift out of place and jam, preventing it from returning to the idle position. This wasn't a coding problem. It wasn't a miscalibrated sensor or a miscommunication between the hardware and the software. It was a basic mechanical flaw, something that's typically tested extensively in any vehicle, especially one that's brand new to the market. The fact that it made it through production into customer hands and only then revealed itself through real-world use raised immediate concerns about how the Cybertruck was tested before launch. The scale of the recall was limited in terms of total vehicles but significant in impact. Tesla reported that 3,878 Cybertrucks had been delivered to customers at the time the issue was confirmed. While that number might seem small compared to mainstream vehicle lines, the Cybertruck was still in its initial rollout. In percentage terms, this was essentially a 100% recall. Every single customer who had received the vehicle was affected. That meant Tesla didn't just have to fix a few cars, they had to pause an entire launch campaign. Deliveries were halted, and customers were told not to drive their vehicles until the issue could be addressed. Tesla began inspecting each truck individually, which meant not only coordinating service appointments but also organizing transport and repairs across the country. Owners who had waited years for this truck were now being told they couldn't use it at all. The company's official statement described plans to install a newly designed pedal assembly to resolve the problem. It would prevent the pedal cover from coming loose or shifting out of alignment under pressure. While the fix itself sounded relatively straightforward, the bigger question quickly emerged: how did this happen in the first place? Tesla's approach to vehicle development is well known for being fast-paced and heavily focused on software. Over-the-air updates, adaptive features, and AI-driven improvements have been key parts of its identity. But the Cybertruck issue was a reminder that hardware still matters, and in this case, it failed in a way that should have been avoidable. Mechanical reliability, especially for essential driving components, is supposed to be the foundation on which other features are built. As more details came to light, an unnamed supplier reportedly shared that Tesla had changed the pedal's material just weeks before launch. The update was said to be aimed at reducing weight and production costs. However, the change also meant that the new design hadn't gone through a full round of extended testing. Internal pressure to meet a publicly announced delivery deadline may have influenced the decision to skip or shorten parts of the review process. If accurate, this revelation sheds light on how tight deadlines and public expectations can sometimes clash with quality control. Tesla's leadership, and Elon Musk in particular, had been building excitement around the Cybertruck for years. As delays stacked up and competitors began catching up in the electric truck space, the pressure to get the product into customer hands likely intensified. The defect also came at an inconvenient time. Tesla had been pushing hard to show its strength as a manufacturing company, with ambitious targets for scaling Cybertruck production through its Giga Texas facility. The recall and the nature of the issue threatened to undo some of that momentum. Instead of showcasing engineering breakthroughs, Tesla was now managing a crisis involving one of the most fundamental parts of any vehicle. Safety experts were quick to weigh in. Several automotive safety analysts pointed out that while mechanical issues can occur in any new vehicle line, a stuck accelerator is one of the more serious problems a car can have. It directly affects a driver's ability to control speed and, by extension, the safety of everyone in or around the vehicle. Even though there were no reports of injuries or crashes caused by the defect at the time of the recall, the potential danger was clear and real. The conversation around Tesla's quality control also resurfaced. While Tesla has built a reputation for innovation, it has also faced criticism over build quality and post-delivery issues in past models. Early runs of the Model 3, for example, were known to have inconsistent panel gaps and rushed production. Those problems were eventually addressed, but they left a mark. With the Cybertruck, a much-hyped vehicle meant to symbolize Tesla's evolution, a hardware issue of this scale has opened up old wounds for critics and skeptics alike. Tesla's response, at least in the early stages, was quick and procedural. The company followed standard recall practices, worked with federal safety authorities, and outlined steps to correct the fault. But in the court of public opinion, that's only part of the equation. Customers and investors are also looking at what the incident says about Tesla's current priorities, whether it's moving too fast and whether safety checks are being sacrificed to meet public expectations or financial targets. According to internal sources, workers were instructed to stop all Cybertruck-related tasks immediately after the recall was issued. Assembly lines that had only recently begun ramping up were shut down. Engineers and technical teams were redirected away from regular duties and reassigned to investigate the pedal flaw and help devise a permanent fix. Vehicles that had already been completed but hadn't yet shipped were taken off the production line and moved into holding areas for inspection. Those trucks are now sitting idle, waiting for the updated parts to arrive. The sudden halt meant that nothing new was being built and nothing already built was going out the door. For a company like Tesla, which operates on tight logistics and just-in-time supply chains, that kind of disruption has immediate and far-reaching consequences. Components and materials that were scheduled for delivery now have no destination. Suppliers who were counting on a steady flow of parts being used and replaced are now left with excess stock. Storage warehouses are filling up, and internal operations teams are scrambling to reorganize shipments and space to avoid additional costs. This freeze isn't just a temporary hiccup, it's a complex logistical problem. Many of the suppliers Tesla works with are contracted for specific volumes and timelines. When production is paused unexpectedly, it disrupts these agreements. That creates uncertainty not only within Tesla's own operations but across its network of partners. These partners, from metal fabricators to software integrators,